Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today I've got a very interesting article from the Register about inherent biases within modern LLM AI models. Let's jump into it. All right, before we get into the details here, I just want to share how my mind works on this kind of story. Anytime I come across a story that seems to be so clearly confirming a widely held opinion on either side of a topic, my antenna immediately goes up, I'm immediately skeptical, and I try to find any type of hidden agenda or manipulation. I just find that all too often when something seems outrageous, it perhaps was intentionally designed to be outrageous in order to attract attention to further an agenda. So I saw this and that was my first reaction. So with that said, let's get into it. Here is the story from the Register. AI hiring bias. Men with Anglo Saxon names score lower in tech interviews. So we can cut to the chase. Basically, a researcher named Celeste Nadai performed an experiment on 3 leading AI models, specifically Gemini 1.5 Flash, Open Mistral Nemo 2407, and GPT-4o Mini. These are smaller, quicker models, but right off the bat, it's interesting that she only queried these 3 models amongst the hundreds or maybe thousands of models available. Makes me wonder if there was a strategic selection when picking these models. I'm not suggesting anything nefarious necessarily, but it is something that catches my eye. From here, Celeste queried the AI models by varying the gender, culture, and ethnic group, and the model temperature. The answers to the questions always remained the same. If these models were treating genders and ethnic groups fairly, you would expect to see consistent scores between the combinations of gender or ethnic group since the answers are all the same. However, that's not what Celeste found. As you can see from these charts from the paper, 2 of the 3 models rated female responses higher than male responses across all temperatures. You can see here the red line being below the blue line in these bottom 2 charts. Remember, the answers are all the same. The only difference in input data is the gender and ethnicity information. So yeah, definitely an eyebrow-raising result. And if we go a bit further, you can see from these second sets of charts that Gemini 1.5 Flash and GPT-4o Mini both seem to substantially rate Anglo Saxon responses lower. You can see the red lines here and here, as well as here and here, although not as much here on this chart. So again, this is only one study and only 3 models. I don't think it's enough to freak out about, but it's certainly a concern if you're a company looking to screen candidates using AI. Having a systemic bias like this in place could definitely open up some legal issues. So how could something like this be possible? I think there's a couple possible explanations. These models could be using similar data sets, and these data sets may perhaps have some bias that the models are picking up for whatever reason. It's possible that the makers of these models have put in extraneous controls that have created these results. Perhaps the model makers were overcorrecting for some perceived bias, and that overcorrection drove this outcome. It's possible that this is just a coincidence. I find it interesting that only 3 models were tested. Perhaps other models have less interesting results. But for me, the bottom line is if you're a company looking to use AI to screen candidates, you probably should do some investigation into this type of bias that may be built into the model you want to use. Otherwise, you could find yourself in some serious legal jeopardy. But that's all I have on this story for today. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you next time.